going to go through and give you some solutions to your homework, which is over system of inequalities. But I'll also fill in some reminders here as well, just to sort of make sure we know what we're doing to solve a system that involves inequalities. It's not a requirement, but I do think it's a good idea that you have 2 different colored writing utensils, especially when you're starting this off, just to sort of help you visually see the 2 things and find their overlapping area. So let's start by looking at number 1. Same idea that we did with solving systems by graphing. We have 2 inequalities happening here, but we just want to focus on one at a time. So if we focus on this first one, right, we're going to ignore the other one altogether. We know that this is in the same idea as the format y equals mx plus b. So our m is -2 and our b is +4. We also need to decide, based on this inequality sign, whether or not we're going to need a dashed or solid line, and whether or not we're going to shade above or if we're going to shade below. So because this does not have a solid line underneath it, we are not going to use a solid line, right? So we're going to use a dashed line instead. And we said less than was always lower or below, so less than is going to be our below option. So just like normal graphing, M and B, right, I'm going to start at 4. Remember that we want our slope to be a fraction form. So this is really -2 over +1. So we're going to go down 2 for the -2, but then right 1 for the +1. Okay, we don't need to make every single point, but we do want to make sure we get a clear idea of where that line is going across our coordinate plane. I'm going to make this a dashed line. And then I'm going to shade below, right? We need this happy medium. We don't want too little shading, but we also don't want too much. So don't color this in solid. Don't leave just a teeny tiny squiggle, but give yourself enough that you're going right up to the line and all the way sort of across the coordinate plane. Okay, then let's look at the second equation. Okay, this is, again, we're just finding m and b, same as y equals mx plus b. So m is 3, b is -4. Now, this does have the solid line underneath it, the or equal to, so this is going to be a solid line. And we are going to shade this above. Okay, so we're going to start at -4, fraction form, so up 3 over 1. Again, just sort of enough to give ourselves a good idea of where this graph is going. Okay, this is going to be a solid line. Now, you have to ignore the orange and only focus on the pink. So you need everything above this pink. Not too much, not too little, but a happy medium in between. Okay, then for our final answer, right, this is just giving us enough information to be able to interpret what we want our final answer to be. So to find our final answer, we're looking on here for where we see orange and pink at the same time, right? In this sort of chunk over here, this area over here, I see nothing. In this area up here, I only see pink. Down here, I only see orange, but all of this over here, I see pink and orange. Okay, so all of this area over here, we want to shade in darker, since that's our final solution. Okay, so let's take a look at number 3, using the same idea. Keep in mind, you can always pause or rewind if you miss something, or if I'm graphing faster than you can keep up with. Just hit pause, give yourself time to catch up. Okay, so y is greater than x plus 4. I will not give you all of this information that I have below on the test. I'm just sort of doing that to help you remember and remind yourself what you need to do. Okay, this is going to be a dashed line, and we are going to shade it above. So we need to remember to find M and to find B. Okay, so we'll start at B. And then we have a slope of 1 over 1, so we're going up 1 over 1. I'm going to make that a dashed line. Okay, and I'm going to shade above this. Give yourself some good sort of shading there so you can tell what's going on. Okay, for my second one, I know that my slope is -1, or that's going to be -1 over 1. And my b equals 4. This is also going to be a dashed line because it doesn't have the or equal to. And because it is less than, I'm going to shade below. So I'm going to start at 4. And then down 1, right 1. Go up 1, left 1 to sort of get the other side. Dashed line. Everywhere below that. If you have a hard time getting everything below, see if you can't take another sheet of paper and sort of line it up on the line. That might help you ignore the other orange stuff that's already there and help you get everything that's below. Okay, and then we're going to look and see where they both happened. Okay, so they overlap here. And so this area is going to be my final solution. Again, I'm not looking, we talked about this in class, I'm not looking at my x and y axis. I'm looking at where the lines sort of divide that area. Okay, so don't go all the way over here to the y axis. Make sure you're staying inside the lines that were already there. So let's take a look at one more. How about number 5? So y is greater than 2x is really going to be y is greater than 2x plus 0. So our m is 2. Our b is 0. This inequality sign is telling us to use a dashed line and to shade above. Okay. Actually, let's go ahead and graph this. Let's go ahead and graph this before we do the info for our second one. So we're going to start at 0, up 2 over 1. Okay, I'm going to fill that in with a dashed line. And we are going to shade above. Okay, on our second one, our m is 1. Our b is 3. This is a solid line because it does have the or equal to. And since it's less than or equal to, we're going to shade below. So I'm going to start at 3. And then up 1 over 1. Now here's where it's important that your graph is really clear, right? Because these sort of get really close to each other. It's going to be solid. I'm going to shade below. So our overlapping area is going to be this sort of sliver in between here.